What is up, SegaCrew? It's your boy GrimShins with what I can't believe I'm saying, a 32X block on a SegaCrew event. This is Virtua Racing Deluxe, which is arguably the best version of Virtua Racing that was ever released. It's got some really awesome content, and hopefully we're gonna have a good time with it. Just gonna go ahead and reset real quick here. Really cool Sega logo. Sega Sports. And I love this intro. So, major differences from the Genesis version of Virtua Racing. That version only ran at 15 frames a second and was very heavily dithered on all the polygons. The 32X version runs at 20 frames a second, doesn't have any dithering on any of the polygons, has much better flat shading. Ooh, look at that VR!
Virtua Racing!
32X version also has substantially better sound.
Virtua Racing!
Pretty cool render of the 6-button controller there. You'll note it's the Japanese controller because it's got a blue start button. And also the shape is the smaller version because, I mean, the US 6-button controller looks like that. It's got a little more beef on the sides, just like Americans. And we are going to be playing on normal because that's the only way that our wins actually count. So unlike the Genesis and arcade version of this game, we can pick one of 3 cars. I'm gonna go with the stock car because it's the easiest to control. And start off on Big Forest. Get our nice pit start here. Big Forest is a pretty nice introductory track because if you're playing in the stock car, you don't need the brakes at all. You can just go full throttle the entire time. Your handling is good enough that you don't need to slow down for any of the corners. There have been a few other home ports of Virtua Racing that are noteworthy. There was a Sega Saturn version that was ported by Time Warner Interactive, and it's not a bad version. It looks great, it runs very smooth. The controls are a little funny compared to the Genesis and 32X versions. There was also a PlayStation 2 version released under the Sega Ages 2500 label that, like most games in that series, was not particularly well received. It was a budget line. And more recently, there is an arcade-perfect port of the game available on the Nintendo Switch. Better than arcade-perfect, in fact, because it runs at 1080p, whereas the arcade cabinet, I believe, was a medium resolution 24 kilohertz game, so that would have been a 384p, roughly. I remember when I got this game, along with the 32X. It was just like absolutely mind-blowing, you know? When you're a kid and you were just used to like Sega Genesis, to have this kind of 3D graphics was like, oh man. Like all the tire tracks on the course, the detail. There's apparently a very small fruit fly or mosquito or something flying around my room. It just landed on my nose, which was pretty awesome. And we should be hitting first place relatively momentarily. Getting first place is difficult because these cars are basically on rails, the computer-controlled opponents. But managed to pull ahead. And can go with that for SegaCrew. One of the cool things is you can do an instant replay, which has badass music. And goes through some pretty cool camera angles. Like for 1994, this was pretty rad. Very true, OAS, but here's the real trick. Can anybody tell me who owns the trademark for Mega Drive? The answer is no, because it had zero cultural impact. So, Sega was robbed. See, this is the kind of long-form music track that you'd expect in Outrun. Which is a game that should have gotten a 32 export, but didn't. I mean, I was just gonna let this play out until the music looped, but we keep getting new passages. Oh, my favorite Sega-related, like, South Korean console was the Super Aladdin Boy. Because let me tell you, Nothing sells a console like Aladdin. Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna skip Bay Bridge for now, because that course is damn near impossible. Yeah, it literally is the same console as the Super Game Boy. Not Samsung's best naming effort, I've got to say. Pretty sick 32X billboard there. Now, Acropolis was the arcade expert course, but I always found it to be a substantially easier track than Bay Bridge. It's really only got one tricky corner in it, and that's the hairpin in the center of the track. I always like the boats, sailboats on this level. I was a little slow on that corner. I probably didn't want to go much below 230 kph. I have no idea what that is in freedom units. Kinda wish that I had somebody else here with me so we could check out the split screen multiplayer, which is really phenomenal. Like, looks good, performs pretty well. Definitely very solid for a full 3D racing game of the era. Oh yeah, let me just go wake up my neighbors. Hey, do you want to play a 30-year-old racing game? In front of a bunch of strangers on the internet? At 1 in the morning? Ah, interesting. The number 1 car made a little bit of a mistake. It hit some grass. Alright, we should be good. There we go. Very solid. Just over 55.5 seconds a lap. And let's do Crew for SegaCrew. Highlands is the first of two 32X exclusive tracks. And it's got some interesting corners, so I like to use the bird's eye view here. Make things a little bit easier. Except when you drive under that bridge. I think the aesthetic of this game holds up exceptionally well. Very clean, you don't have any problems with texture swim or anything like that, because you don't have any textures. Just all flat shaded polygons. The type of thing that upscales very well. I mean, you could release this today at 4K, and it would still look good. I also like the mountain background on this stage. Already in first. Guess the computer's line just is not as optimized on this level. Either that or I'm just really good. Hit a little bit of the curb there. Not enough to really affect anything, fortunately. I love how tense the final lap checkpoint music is. Oh, lapped that poor guy. Ooh, and very quick final lap. All right. Sega. Onwards to my favorite track, Sand Park. What was interesting about that opening jingle is it melodically is very similar to Green Hills Zone on Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. Not sure if that was intentional on Sega's part, if it was a little callback or something, but pretty cool. I like the Sega mode into the grass over there. Very cool touch. And you always want to go right at this fork. It is way faster than left. And as long as you take the right fork every time, you should just win the race outright. This game does have drafting. If you are behind another car, you do get a little bit of a speed up. Yeah, Sega went hard on the physics back in the day. Ooh, I was sloppy through those turns. It shouldn't really matter. Switch over to the bird's eye view. Between this game, Daytona USA, and Sega Rally, I mean, that stretch in the early to mid-90s, Sega was just crushing it with the racing games. Yeah, that's a tough series of turns beginning in that tunnel because the turn in the tunnel doesn't look sharp, but it is one of the sharpest turns in the game. Like, if you take that corner at full speed, you will slam into the wall and flip the car. Yeah, this game might not be Starfield, but it has about as much detail as most of the planets on Starfield. Heyo, got him. Suck it, Todd. Dude, I was looking up the complete lack of optimization in Starfield. They were leaving character models with like 20,000 polygon faces. Just the face. There was a sandwich, just like a sandwich, that was 70,000 polygons. Like, come on, Todd Howard, I hold you personally responsible for that. I guess it's like not as bad as something like Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, where some of the models were left as like 2 million polygon count meshes. But it's like, come on, guys. Hasn't anybody heard of a normal map these days? Like, do you really need to do everything in a polygon mesh and one texture? Honestly, kids these days, they wouldn't know 3D modeling if it came up to them and slapped them in the face. Not like the good old days of Virtua Racing. Why, you don't even need 4 digits to count the number of polygons in this scene, and it still looks beautiful. Just 2 SH2 processors and a frame buffer to draw to. That's all you need. Right. And another gold trophy. Oh yeah, when astronauts went to the moon and there was nothing there, they weren't bored. Yeah, that's also because their lives were in danger, like, the entire time. I think the only danger you'd get from Starfield is, I don't know, like blood clots from sitting so long. Okay. The reason that I've left Bay Bridge as the last course is because I am not winning this. You have to be so precise with the driving. Just the lead car refuses to give up. Like, it all comes down to making that turn at mostly full speed. And even then, it really depends on how quickly I do this first lap. Oof. I don't know what the blue car was doing there. It kind of forgot that the ground was real. It was doing some two-wheel edging there for a second. Okay, I want to be at under 42.5 seconds a lap from now on. Like, getting into second place is fairly easy, but if you'll take a look at the map on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice that the car in first is, like, way out in front. So if this race does not go well, I might have to go with one of the faster but harder to handle cars. That's funny. You should mention Initial D. There's a pretty sweet Initial D racing game on the Sega Saturn. And I believe there's also one on the PlayStation 2 as well. See, I lost half a second on that lap, so there's no way. Yeah, Initial D's nuts, got him. What's a PlayStation? I don't know, it's this kind of ugly gray box rectangle thing that has a worse version of Tomb Raider than the Saturn. Yeah, so in order to actually get first place in the stock car on this track, I'm pretty sure you need under 46 seconds on the first lap and under 42.5 on each subsequent lap. So we're gonna try the Formula car, which was the only one available in the arcade version of Virtua Racing. But I'm really bad at anything that's not stock car in this, because being an open-wheeled car, the slightest bump will just make you spin out like that. And if you spin out, you're not going to win. This game is not spin to win, it is spin to lose. Oh, and I almost went the wrong way. Oh. Oh, there's an even better engine sound, Bacon. After we lose this one, we'll do the prototype. But you can kind of understand why I prefer the stock car. It's a lot easier to handle. This, you gotta be on point about braking and shit. Actually playing the game. Oh, this is one of the Simps games? You were talking about the sound driver, not like the sound the engine makes. Yeah, you can switch on the fly between any one of 4 views with the C, X, Y, and Z buttons, which is pretty cool. X gives you the driver's seat view, which is very difficult. I usually use the Y button, which is this kind of slightly elevated view. Bird's eye, if I need to be precise on a turn. And C is just like right behind the car. The reason I am trying so hard to get a first place run is because when you get first place on every track, it unlocks mirror mode. So you get to race on all the tracks mirrored. Only, as we can see, this course is the gatekeeper, the golden gatekeeper, if you will. So let's try the prototype, which is even faster than Formula and even harder to handle. but it does look very futuristic, very Speed Racer. And since it's not open-wheeled, it's not nearly so susceptible to spinning out as the Formula car. But it's still, if you ram into somebody at 300 kilometers an hour, you're going to spin out. Or, you know, flip the car. That's also pretty cool. You know what? We're gonna give All Reliable another try. Oh yeah, the selection music is pretty sick. See, Bacon, if you keep accidentally PBing in offline runs, maybe you should just, like, record locally or something. Because otherwise, everybody's just gonna say you're full of shit. No vid, no did. MC Aaron Ice, thank you for the raids. Welcome, Raiders, to SegaCrew's 40 Years, 40 Games, celebrating 40 years of Sega home consoles. We are featuring games from every major Sega home console, including the 32X, which, as you know, was truly Sega's finest hour in the home market. Oh, and we got Insomniatics with a raiding party of 4. Getting all sorts of raids. Everybody loves Sega. We certainly do. Yes, 32X has dozens of games, 3 of them. I need to, you know what? We're gonna explore. Let's just do some donuts. Spin out. Oh. That was pretty good. The double spin out, back to back. Oh, baby. Alright, get back on course. That was less spectacular than I thought it would be. Now, see, this is kind of tricky because if you hit a wall, it'll put you back the direction you're supposed to go. Oh no, we ran out of time. Alright, let's for real this time. Gotta try to draft as much as possible early on. Get that speed boost. Ooh, that's not gonna be good, but let's at least See, maybe if I can get under like, oh no, I definitely need a 46 for this to work. Okay, I think I figured out the tricky corner back there. There's a line that you can take where you don't need to brake. Oh, and a 45. I'll take that. This game's just extremely comfy. Feels very good to play. Just, it's got a very relaxing vibe to it. Like, basically all of Sega's arcade racing games get into kind of this zen mode. Oh, damn. I screwed that up. That's gonna cost me pretty dearly. I don't think I'm gonna be in any position to overtake the guy in first now. Yeah, that's an entire second slower than I need to be. We'll see what happens, though. Maybe the game will freak out and be like, oh my god, I've forgotten how to drive. Yes, this ain't happening. Final lap, I can't even see him. See, I need to take that entire narrow corner 284 kilometers an hour every time. Okay, that was pretty close. Unfortunately, it's not gonna give us like how far behind we were. Oh man, I played Guitar Hero Arcade exactly once. It was like fucking $2 for a single play, and it was one song. Like, I felt thoroughly ripped off. Is Esta being completely responsible with his mod powers. Always power hungry, yeah. See, you can never trust a Lion King runner. Time bonus. I needed to take that corner at full speeds. That was not good. This is kind of a lousy lap. Oh, it's still under 43 though, so I'll let it ride for now. If nothing else, this is showing that Bay Bridge is the real final track in this game. Game consists of 4 nice, easy races and Bay Bridge. Hey, Esta, I absolutely will stereotype every community based off of their worst representative. And that's why I've based my entire view of the Sonic the Hedgehog community off of Chris Chan. See, 42,368, that's, how do I feel about furries? Oh, you know, furries have never gotten into any trouble at conventions. And once again, gonna be second place. Man, this guy is... This is gonna be tough. But once again, this is 40 years, 40 games, celebrating 40 years of Sega home consoles. All started with the SG-1000, which was released in 1983 in Japan, on the same day as the Nintendo Famicom. How's that for being born under a cursed sign? But interesting thing about it was... there was a brief period where the SG-1000 was outselling the Famicom because of chip shortage. There was some manufacturing difficulties that Nintendo had early on in the Famicom's life. They couldn't manufacture enough of them. So that left people who wanted a home console to go with the Sega option. Ooh, that's pretty solid first lap. Did Konami punch your mom or something? Wow, I have missed out on some quality chat. And I knew when I signed up for this game and saw that they blocked 45 minutes for it. It was just like, okay, it's gonna be, you know, maybe 10 minutes for the other courses and 35 for Bay Bridge. See, I can't even cut across the median. That just doesn't work. And be sure to stick around after Virtua Racing Deluxe for Cyphrin playing Spider-Man Web of Fire, which is the rarest game of the North American 32X library. It was released in 1996, very close to the end of the console's commercial life. Some would say it was released after the end of the console's commercial life, but pretty interesting platformer from Blue Sky, the developers of the Vector Man games. I'm not going to say it's a good game, because I'm not going to turn myself into a liar, but it is a cool game to watch. It's got some good ideas. It was a good ideas game. Yeah, Spider-Man's seeing a lot of love in this event, and that is cool. Spider-Man's a pretty cool dude. Just wish that the movies would finally let Peter Parker graduate from high school, you know? Poor guy has been stuck as a kid for goddamn 22 years. He almost got a break with the rest of the Raimi movies, but nope, right after that, back to high school. Dude, Tobey Maguire is still a kid. Oh, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he was in high school. Then the next two, he was in college. Well, presumably he was still in college in Spider-Man 3. I never really spent a lot of time on it. Ah, damn it. Well, that one was closer, but unfortunately that spin out cost us pretty dearly. That was a unfortunate last lap. I really wanted to get all first place in order to show off the mirror modes, but yo, Biddy6501, thank you for the 100 biddies. Just trying to get first place on this last track, which is technically the second track in the game, but it's the last track that we're gonna get first place on, if at all. Because it's really difficult. Requires probably more focus than I'm giving it. Yeah, Booster, if this particular attempt doesn't work out, then we can go ahead and toss it over to Cyphren. This might be it, though, because we're going to be in second place by the start of the third lap. And I can actually see the guy in first. Gonna be tough, though. This track is definitely the most technical in the game, I find. Oh, a 41. I took those corners a little bit slower than I wanted to, but I can see the guy's windshields. So we are gaining. Ooh, this is gonna be close. I don't know where I'm gonna overtake him, if at all. Oh, it's over. It's over. Oh, this is a tragedy. Look at how close we were. Oh, look at how close we were. Damn it. Well, it just wasn't in the cards for us tonight. That's how it goes sometimes. But hey, pretty solid overall. Yeah, that's Virtua Racing Deluxe on the Sega 32X. A very good game. It is probably my favorite 32X game. So, yeah, just, Booster, whenever you're ready, toss it over to Cyphren and let's keep the 32X block going. Thanks so much.